Today's top picks from Reuters Breaking Views. Delhi's mission to Mars is about more than confectionery. Their headline, not ours. And investors get overexcited about Asian bonds. Robert Cole is with me.
Yeah, sorry about the pun there. A little bit stretched.
But
quite appropriate, actually.
But it's a serious story, this. $80 million they're spending on this mission to Mars, or at least putting the satellite near Mars. And the criticism from, let's face it, some quite high-profile British politicians, if the Indians can afford to send high-tech missions into space, they can afford to look after their own. Because, of course, £300 million of British taxpayers' money is going to help India.
Yeah, absolutely. And India's going to get its own critics at home as well. With, I think we say that half the nation's children are undernourished, so it looks like an extravagance, a bit of sweetness that they really can't afford.
And of course, they've had this massive power cut recently.
Quite. So why, it looks like a very skewed sort of set of priorities. But I think it's important to actually look a bit more deeply at this and a bit more widely. Actually, to say that it's not just about a pointless mission into space, given that other scientists around the world are doing it. It is about India stamping its measure of ambition on the world and giving its people something to cheer about, which is great as well. We had the Olympics here. Yeah. That doesn't do anything really economically, but it's good to cheer about it. But also, emerging countries need this ambition, need these goals, so that they can actually tackle important technical issues that they may have. I mean, it's a stretch to say that just because they're taking a mission to Mars, their power outage of last week wouldn't have happened. But yeah, sure. the two aren't unconnected. They do need ambition, they do need expertise, and at the end of the day, £80 million, well, it may not be very much to you, certainly.
I'm just looking at these fantastic pictures. Why are they doing it, though?
Well, because they want to register that ambition, because they want to post a sign that they have the intensity to go and look after technical ability, and yeah, they might make some scientific discoveries at the same time. Okay. And let's face it, it's no bad thing to give the Americans a run for their money and everyone else. True. Competition on that ground.
All right,
so it's a good thing.
Yeah. We're staying in the region. Asia's bonds. You think it's time to get out now? We've seen them as a safe haven. Yields have been coming off quite sharply.
Yeah,
get out.
Is the bottom line, and
we've heard this before as well. Let's face it.
It's not just about Asian investors either. Remember that Asian bonds have been a haven for investors globally, and yields there have been coming down. I mean, it's part of another one of a series of pieces that I guess we're posting, just sort of trying to work out whether we really are at the turning point in terms of markets. And we've talked, haven't we, about how equities have turned up a bit, and we've talked yesterday, I think, about French bonds as well, them being at low points as well. And this is just sort of another piece which sort of suggests that perhaps we are getting to that shift. It's too early to call it for absolute certain, but I think it's very important that investors certainly prepare themselves for that shift, because it will happen at some stage. Equities will come back. The bond bubble will burst. I've been calling it for some time, and perhaps you might want to say that I'm wrong for that, but actually I think it's much more important to be ready for it when it comes, and these things often take longer. But in Asia we've got some growth, and that could harm the yields on Asian bonds.
I've said it before, Robert. You should have been an investment manager. You missed your calling.
Well, one likes to think that one has some usefulness in that sphere, but no, I'm a journalist, not an investment manager.
Very good. Glad of that as well, Robert. Thanks a lot, Robert Cole. If you want to watch our US Breaking Views show, that comes on every day, 12:30 Eastern, 17:30 GMT. I'm Axel Threlfall. This is Reuters.